finally concluded, but who make decision? But nobody knows. This is Japanese characters.
That's done through the nemawashi.
Not nemawashi is just just big voice person is okay. Just we won at Manchuria, defeat Chinese army 10 times bigger the army, but we could won. Sort of opinion.
But if you like, for example, if you see what's happening now in the States, the Democratic election, you see that basically Bernie Sanders was winning, right? But because of the coalition that is now being made by the more moderate Democrats, all of a sudden, what's his name? Joe Biden is winning again. Not because he's actually the most popular candidate, because if there was no other politics going around it, he would not have won. But because people changed their road and they changed their alliances, they actually, the outcome could be that Joe Biden, and quite likely, is going to run against Trump. Is that the same as it happens in Japanese? So that some kind of, okay, maybe an outrageous idea that's being planted, but by gradually building up alliances, by strategically finding partners to actually create majorities in all these pre-meetings?
That will happen, yes. Japanese, not only Japan, Malaysia is actually Mahathir defeated. The same thing happened. Many countries, political movement, kind of, under the water, many things happen. This is normal, any country. Right? Power balance.
Well,
Kake Tanaka is also same. He's actually he did not wrongdoing, but he just prosecuted Lockheed incident. But he was not guilty, but actually he was guilty because America hate him, and he went to China to make agreement. That's the reason why America killed him. Sort of things many happen, right? And World War II is the same, maybe same. But I don't know, actually we don't have evidence what kind of discussion they have done. But if you're going to evaluate the result, it's stupid. Most of stupid incident is Pearl Harbor. I don't understand how come they attack America. Everybody from how many population at that time, 400 million, everybody knows that we cannot win.
But basically, the fact that they attacked Pearl Harbor knew that they were already losing.
No. Nobody supported it. But all newspapers, all government top brass supported. Unbelievable. And also they have, at that time, they have some espionage organization. They prepared planning, strike planning. Don't do that, but they neglected. They had evidence, as you know, and 1/10 of power.
Right.
Cannot win.
Never.
But actually they neglected that report.
But this is kind of surprising to me. Why the Japanese people never accused their government?
Exactly. This is after World War II or under the World War II, nobody accused. That Pearl Harbor, everybody appraised. It's stupid.
How many people lost their lives after Pearl Harbor because of this decision?
Japanese pitfall is they never consider reflection of what they did.
But this is what Jordan Peterson is talking about now.
But Japanese never do that.
Yeah. Also,
That's what he's talking about. This is what he means.
We never learned why Japanese started the war, like about anything. So the Japanese education is always like criticize the episode of just World War II.
Yeah.
So we never teach.
Reflect.
Yes. Why Japanese need to start World War II? or need to attack the U.S.
Well, more clearly saying nobody reflect Pearl Harbor, nobody reflect Midway operation, nobody reflect Guadalcanal operation. Why
No,
did it?
because basically what Jordan Peterson says is because this is a collectivist society. We don't find the truth within ourselves versus our gods and our individual potential. We find the truth in what is common sense and supported by the group. And if the group supports that, we needed to attack Pearl Harbor.
Well, typical cases in Pearl operation, nobody just criticize. Nobody criticize.
Yeah, only the movies like Biruma no Tategoto, it's kind of improv, right?
I don't know. This is different.
Different. I'm sorry.
Why? Why is it different?
Hostage. Afterward, the hostage. So.
Yes, exactly.
And do you know that Iwo Jima?
Yes.
They have several hostages at Iwo Jima.
Which one? The
Japanese soldiers hostage, and they sent to the Saipan. They sent to the Hawaii, and going to San Francisco, and then moving to the Dallas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dallas, and they had 1 or 2 years stay in the States, and they spent a very good life there, hostage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had delicious 3 meals and with coffee, everything what they want, and also American military asked them to stay in the States or not.
Oh, really? So they got U.S.
American military entertained them very much.
But this was common sense for every prisoner of war. All countries except Japan, they made a terrible mess out of the prisoners of war.
And additional story is, everybody decided to going back to Japan, from Seattle to by ship back to Japan, and I don't know how many, but finally 5 persons in the before arriving at Yokosuka, and 5 soldiers missing.
Oh, missing. Okay. Officially missing.
Why
but
missing?
Probably they
Jump ship?
No, probably they didn't want to go back to Japan, so just missing. Right? No?
They killed by themselves. Just before arriving port, they jumped into the sea. And because Japanese believe it's a shame to be hostage.
Right.
So they killed by themselves.
So they couldn't stay at the U.S.
Now is about
But
people.
they choose. Right?
Now is we are thinking about
Because
this.
they were not supposed to be held hostage, right? So basically, if you were held hostage, you were supposed to end your life.
Now, current people, we can believe it, but at that time, that's what they were thinking. Before arriving in Japan,
So you never surrender, right?
Same.
But basically, what they did is they surrendered. They let themselves be captured.
So now is Japanese, people is not much different at that time. Now, like people thinking are they going to take responsibility? I don't think they're very similar to Japanese military like that. Right? So I don't know how to fix it.
Well, I think it's deeply ingrained into society.
Japanese also another big problem is like even if Prime Minister has the right opinion, but he cannot speak out right opinion. He always negotiated among ministries, and it takes a couple months. So if the kind of ASPAC or some kind of meeting, he cannot make a speech for continuously a week or several days. He cannot do that because he need to negotiate with ministries. So this is Japanese problem. And also, Takahashi always said, if you're going to sell our technology to Asian Pacific, they cannot do that because they need to consider for their own industry, like a construction industry or some association every time because they just cooperated with the other companies, like especially technology, and like going to propose to Vietnam government, the technology level are the same as Japanese standard. And Japanese, even Vietnam government asked them to more downgrade technology, they cannot do that. Australian, they can do that. They don't consider for the Australian standard. They never consider for that. They try to meeting with their customer. Japanese always, they don't do that. This is a problem.